Whatever type of drilling you're doing with whatever type of drill bit, you will find the more accurate you can make your holes, the better everything fits together. So today I'm going to give you 8 tips to make your drilling more accurate, even if you're using the worst type of bit, which is one of these. Drilling holes, whether you're a DIYer or carpenter, is a bit like cutting material. The more accurate you make them, the more you'll find your projects starting to come out nice and square and looking like they should. And when I say accurate, obviously holes have got to be the right diameter, in the right place, plus or minus nothing, and normally parallel or perpendicular to something, and the right depths. And if you can get those 4 things consistent, you'll find your projects coming out looking nice and square with no lips and looking like they should do. So today I've got a number of tips on how to drill better and more consistent, ranging from really basic stuff to something a little bit more advanced. And if you've seen it before, I guarantee you'll blink and I'll be onto something you haven't seen before. So let's start with drilling holes in timber. And the first question is, which drill bit do I use? So here I've got 2 wood drill bits. They're slightly different. This one's called HSS, which stands for high speed steel. This will drill into wood plus other materials all the way up to steel. This one is a brad point bit. It's got that spiky bit at the end there. Now that is only for timber. If you try to use that on steel, that will fail very quickly. If it's my choice to drill into wood, I'll definitely use the brad point bit for 2 reasons. Firstly, it locates itself with that point really well. So wherever you start is exactly where that drill is going in. And secondly, if I just put it onto a drill, as it starts and I'll run it at full speed, it cuts a really nice clean hole to start with. So that's just gone in 0.5 millimeter and it's a nice clean edge all the way around. That's the one you want to go for. Now the HSS type, although it can drill into timber, it doesn't tend to be so accurate, but this is really good for steel. So here's a piece of my steel that I want to drill into, and I want a hole just about there. Now the best way of doing this is using a hole punch, just lining that up, and when I'm happy, a couple of taps gives me a little punch in the middle there, and that helps locate my HSS bits. So as I start drilling, it doesn't wander, which fixes that position, which means that we can now drill through the rest of it, which I'm not going to do today. But if you want to know more about how to successfully drill through steel, go and have a look at a video that I made a long time ago. I'll put a link to it up here, where I'll give you the tips that you need to know to be able to drill through any thickness of steel without blunting drill bits, which is the trick, and it's a lot easier than you think. Go and have a look at that. Anyway, back to wood. Now we've got our brad point drill starting to go. Now I want to drill perpendicular to the face. 99.9% of all drilling is actually perpendicular to whatever you're drilling into. Now there's a number of ways of doing that. Firstly, you can use a drill-in block. These are things that you can buy off of Amazon, and essentially you use the right diameter hole for your drill bit, which lines it up perpendicular to the face of the material. The most useful thing about these sort of jigs is that they've also got a V in the bottom, which means you can line the jig up with something circular, which means you can drill directly into the center of something like a broom handle, for instance, which is maybe something I should have purchased some time ago. Or you can buy a gadget like this. I'm not necessarily recommending it. It actually fits to your drill, and it's got 2 little lasers. I don't know if you can see that coming out of there. It fits onto your drill magnetically and whizzes around when you start drilling. But the whole idea is, as it whizzes around, those 2 lasers start forming 2 circles, and if they're perfect circles, then you are by definition perpendicular to the surface. If they go into ovals, then obviously you're then on one side or the other. If you're off, then it's an oval rather than circle. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. I think it's a little bit of a gadget. What I've found is that you can be quite a few degrees off, and those circles still look like circles. So it's not very accurate at all, and it's a little bit of a gimmick. I'll put a link to that in the description, but I don't necessarily think you need it, because there's a cheaper way of doing it, and all you need is a couple of little offcuts. I've got a couple of bits of 2x2 here that I've cut on my miter saw, and I know my miter saw is exactly 90 degrees. And all I need to do is to line this up. You can actually glue them together, but you don't necessarily need to. And use that V there to line up your drill bit. So this is where I'm going to drill my hole perpendicular to this surface, and that brad point is going to make sure it doesn't deviate. And if I just hold them tight in the corner there and then line up the drill bit with that corner V, then by definition I'm now perpendicular to the surface, as long as everything is cut perpendicular. And that's why my miter saw needs to be adjusted and made sure that everything is square. So all I have to do so I've actually got a starter hole now, and that just follows the same sort of hole all the way through. So if let's just double check, we've got a nice 90 degrees. Where's my square? There you go, a nice 90 degrees in that direction, and you're going to have to take my word for it. It looks exactly the same front to back. So I've got a nice perpendicular hole there to this surface. So the next thing is depth. Now normally you either want a hole long enough to get, let's say a screw in or a raw plug in, or no more than a certain depth, which means you don't pop out the other side. Now for the first one, what I like to do is just use a bit of a Sharpie. So let's say I wanted a hole of at least 30 millimeters. There it is. I'm marking maybe 35 on there. And then with it rotating, I can just highlight that. And from now on, you can see the mark. That wears off fairly quickly. So that's just a very cheap and cheerful. If you want something more accurate, a lot of you would have seen this before, but there's a slightly different way of doing it. And that is using a little bit of masking tape or tape on your drill. But I like to put it on in a slightly different way. So you end up with 2 or 3 inches of tape. And let's say I want a depth of 30 millimeters. Rather than holding the tape to the drill, all I do is stick the tape very lightly on the 30 millimeter mark, and then I can offer that up to the bit and then take it off the tape measure, wrap it around, leaving a bit of a tail. Before I do anything, I'm just going to double check it's 30 millimeters, which it is. And it's a good idea to leave this tape with a little tail flapping around, because that shows you when you've got to the right depth. So this is where I want my hole. If I start drilling, I'm a few millimeters off there, and you'll notice I've still got sawdust on the surface. When I go down to the right depth, this tab is going to brush all those away. So when I see all the sawdust disappear, I know that I'm at the right depth. Just there. You see that? There's no sawdust there. It's all gone. So now I know that I've got a 30 millimeter hole. Now let's move on to what I think is the most inaccurate drill bit on the market, and that is a spade or flat bit. Now these are really cheap, but they're not very accurate. You can actually quite easily drill a banana shaped hole, even if you don't want to. And if you're drilling a lot with something like this, then it might be better to use what we call an auger bit, which is just a big auger shape drill bit. But you can make flat bits a lot more accurate. Now this is a pretty typical setup where I want to drill out a whole bunch of material so I can fit a lock into my door here, and all I'll do is I'll drill out a number of different holes here, and then I can chisel around the outside and fit my lock in. Now the first thing to say is to get these going down absolutely true, the best way of doing that is by using a pilot hole. So I'm going to use a brad point bit, which is about the size of halfway up that pointy section on your flat bit, as a pilot hole. Once again, I'm going to use my block arrangement so I get a nice vertical or at least perpendicular hole to the front face. And what you find is now this pointy bit on the end of the flat bit has no choice other than to travel down that pilot hole, and that will keep it straight whether it likes it or not. The other trick is here, if you've got a number of holes to essentially stitch drill a whole area, don't finish one all the way down to the bottom. Do it bit by bit. So do 5mm on each one and then go down to 10 on each one and keep going along until they all go down essentially together. That means that you don't end up coming out of one and going into another hole. So it doesn't take long until you end up with quite a nice, deep, fairly regular hole. I can get my chisel to that now, and after a little bit of tidying up, that will be ready for a lock. So after just a couple of minutes of tidying up with 2 different sized chisels, I end up with a slot that's the right width and the right length and the right depth and tidy enough to put a lock into that. And that's how you control where your flat bit goes so you don't end up with banana shaped holes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.